And we're beaming in today on Absolutely Famous from the beautiful port town of Albany, which is situated in the southwest, the bottom of Australia. It's known for its stunning white sandy beaches, amongst other beautiful things, and it's got a population of about 30,000 people, a little bit more, and it was from that port, a bit of history here, Albany, that the New Zealand troops left from to fight at Gallipoli. So joining us from my favourite town in Australia, Albany, is Nicola Thomas. Nicola plays Aussie rules footy for the Royals Club, as well as touch, and she's also a talented artist, but not your traditional artist. Hi Nicola, thank you for being on Absolutely Famous. Lovely to chat to you.
Lovely to chat with you too.
Well, tell us a little bit about, we'll start with the footy first. You play for the Royals Footy Club, the women's team, and how does that club go, and what competition do you play in?
Oh, it's great fun. So I'm part of the Women's Football League down here. Every men's team in Albany, every men's club in Albany has a women's team, which is brilliant. There's so many people down here who just are so keen to play. So there's 6 teams altogether, and I think we play against each team twice in the season. And it's just absolutely wonderful fun.
It looks like a lot of fun. I came down a couple of years ago. I went to Denmark and watched your team play. My daughter Tish plays in it, of course, and I think half of Denmark turned up to watch the games. It was really a great night's entertainment.
Yeah, the whole community gets around it. There's so many people who come down and watch and support us.
Is it taken off sort of in conjunction with the women's professional league starting? Does that sort of spark the increase in numbers?
I'm sure it's got some sort of influence on it, yeah, but the league down here has been going for quite a few years now, which is good. And I played in the inaugural women's football season up in Perth. I think it was in 2017. Was the first year? Yeah.
Fantastic. And you have a representative team as well to play regional matches? Do you play regional rep matches?
Yeah, we do. We have like a big, like a country week where we all get together, we all play, and then we pick a team out of the Albany Great Southern region, and we go on country teams. It's great fun.
Oh, how much fun would that be? Yeah, I love tournaments. I used to love them back in the day when I was a young fella. Yeah, good stuff. And you also play. So talking about the Royals footy team, how many teams roughly would you have there? You've got a senior team, the women's team. Do you have junior teams as well?
Yeah, we've got a couple of junior teams. We've got Colts. I think we've got about four or 5 teams per club.
Fantastic.
For the women's league, it's just the one. We're yet to have a Resi's team one day.
Yeah. What amazes me about, well, not only Albany, but most towns in Australia is the amazing sporting facilities you've got down there. I mean, your sports fields and the stadium are second to none. Pretty lucky.
Yeah, it's wonderful. We've got so many good ovals and, well, not stadiums, but...
Yeah, I know, yeah.
Clubs, good club rooms, everything's all really well done for us.
So, are you born and bred in Albany?
No, I grew up in Perth, and I moved down nearly 3 years ago, just over 3 years, to do some field work for my marine biology degree. And it took me 2 days out of those 2 weeks to decide how much I loved Albany and I was going to move here. So I did my last semester of my degree at the little campus for UWA down here.
Oh, beautiful! And you work at a marine centre, doing a bit of that work as well.
Not in marine at the moment. So I used to work in aquaculture. My job was to grow algae to feed oysters.
And I love oysters.
There were some perks of the job, definitely.
Yeah.
Then I went travelling Australia. So we did the full lap, and I just got back in February. So currently working at a wildlife park. So not quite in marine yet, but I'll get back into it.
Oh, Mark. So what do you like most about Albany?
Oh, the coastline is incredible. So the southwest of WA is Australia's only biodiversity hotspot. So both in terms of terrestrial and marine, the species here are so diverse, so rare. Majority, like there's a high level of endemic species, so species that occur here and nowhere else in the world. And that variety extends into the marine world. It's so incredible. And the coastline of Albany, just because it meanders, so you've got a beach or a coastline facing every single way, so you get all these different currents, all these different wind directions. Every beach is so different. You know, you visit the same beach every day for a year, and you'll never see the same beach.
No, you did right. I can vouch for that because one of my favourite places is Little Beach. It's just a stunning little place over there.
Little Beach is gorgeous, and I think one of my personal favourites is Misery's.
Yeah, yes, lovely, and of course there's a big whaling history there. I've seen whales migrating through there, really close to the shoreline. Actually, over the walkway there, it's stunning.
Yeah, so we get southern right whales. They come in here and they calve. And they nurse their calves for quite a few months, so it's a breeding ground for them. And we get humpback whales coming through quite a bit as well, and that's why the whaling station was built there. I think they originally started with sperm whales, which were further up the continental shelf, and then worked out that the southern rights were a lot easier to kill and came in a lot closer. And I mean, that's why they're called the southern rights. You know, they're the right whale to kill.
Exactly. Well, thank goodness they don't kill them now. They're beautiful creatures.
That's
Yeah, absolutely. So, as well as footy, you play touch. Who do you play touch for? Is it a social thing or is it competition?
It's a social league. I play for a team called Hydrolink, and that's the name of our sponsor.
Good name.
It's a brilliant way to get involved. You know, we don't have trainings. We just go down and play a game every week. But it's very involved. Like every team has to volunteer someone to forgotten the word.
It's a referee.
Referee.
Yeah.
So we're always down there. Everyone's all there. There's 2 time slots, so everyone stays and watches the next game, and it's very inclusive. It's a good sport to be involved in.
Oh, good stuff. Good for your fitness too. Now, tell us about your art. And now I understand you create art out of seaweed. How does that work? Tell us about that. Sounds really interesting.
So basically, it's like flower pressing, but with seaweed. So I think the biggest thing for me is that so many people think of seaweed as the smelly stuff on a beach, or it's gross if it touches your foot while you're swimming, you know. But to me, seaweed is it's so beautiful. It's so incredible. Like there's so much variation. You know, you've got bright pink seaweeds, you've got browns, you've got greens, you've got all these different colours, and so much variation in the structure of the actual organism itself. And I just like being able to show people that it is actually quite interesting. It's not just gross and smelly. You know? It's also incredibly useful. Seaweed can be used for so many different things.
Yeah, including health stuff.
Yes.
Yeah.
Incredibly healthy to eat. It's good for your teeth. Like it has all of these amino acids which are really hard to get into your body. They filter nutrients out of the ocean, and then we just get to eat it. You know.
Amazing. So what about, how do you prepare it to press onto paper? Obviously, you've got to dry it.
Yeah, so I take the pieces home. So first of all, seaweed has to be beach cast. So you're not allowed to pick seaweed. And the laws on this vary between states. But so once I've found a piece of seaweed on the beach, I take it home and I wash it, get all the salt and the sand off it. And then the hardest bit is laying it out in the way that I want it to dry. So once it's dried, that's the shape it will stay. And, you know, you think of seaweed that you pull out of the ocean, it's just a tangled pile.
Yeah.
So what takes the longest is laying it out in the way that I want it to stay. And then it takes about a week to 2 weeks pressing. You don't have to apply any pressure necessarily. It's just drying it out so it doesn't go crinkly. And then take it out of the press, and you have to unstick it off the paper that it's been in, and then I frame it up and I identify it and write the species name in the frame with it.
Fantastic. So you don't necessarily twist it and bend it into shapes. It's just the shape, pure beautiful shape of the seaweed is the art.
Yeah. Like
Yeah.
I want to show people how beautiful seaweed is in itself. Like I don't want to manipulate it into something it's not. I want people to appreciate its natural beauty.
Yeah. And do you sell that commercially, or is it just a hobby?
Oh, it's just a hobby. Like probably my biggest things are doing little local markets and getting them stocked in the local art shop, that
Yeah.
kind of thing. But I sold frames when I went traveling Australia, so I've had frames sold in pretty much every state, and I'm still now and then posting them over east and up north, all over the place.
Oh, that's amazing. Have you got any examples you could show us on the camera? We're going to run some photos in the story of it, but if you've got any handy, or if you haven't,
I do.
yeah, go for it. Just waiting to have a look at this beautiful seaweed art. Oh, that's gorgeous. That is so cool.
Differently.
Yeah, that's beautiful.
Yeah, and
That
you can
is-
really brings out the beautiful red colours.
That looks as though it's off Middleton Beach. Would that be a good guess?
It's off lowlands, so pretty close.
Oh, okay, yep.
But some of the brown species can be so
Oh, that's so cool. That's beautiful.
ugly and
So if somebody wants to, have you got an address that somebody can click into and buy artwork off you?
So I don't have a website. Basically, I operate everything out of an Instagram account or Facebook. But also, I'm open to sending my email out to people who would like to contact me who don't necessarily have social media.
Yeah.
That kind of thing.
I will make sure we put the contact details on the end of our written piece of the story anyway, so people
Yep.
can access. That's really cool. Next, I'm over in Albany in October, so I'll come and have a look at that. It looks beautiful. Yeah, really good. So what's the weather like over here at the moment? It's drizzling here over on the Gold Coast. So
Today is the first sunny day we've had in a few weeks.
oh really?
I think so because I work outdoors. I think I've been hailed on 3 times in the last 2
Hail. Well, you wouldn't get hail a lot there, would you?
fun. But today's a really lovely day, so time to get outside, definitely.
I saw a piece on Facebook during the week that up at Bluff Knoll, the hill up there in the Stirling Ranges, it was snowing.
Yeah, so that does happen a few times a year. And all the crazy people get up there at dawn to see the snow.
Yeah.
Up and cold.
I'm from New Zealand. I've seen all the snow I need to see. Yeah. Nicholas, thanks so much it's been wonderful to chat to you. Really interesting about your art and your sport and living in that beautiful town. And thank you so much. And we'll get the word out about that art. I'm really impressed. It looks so cool.
Oh, thank you so much. It's been brilliant chatting with you.
No worries. Cheers.